Okay, guys, we're just coming at end of this run. I don't think we're gonna get any sort of performance uplift from the curve optimizer, but we are seeing a little bit more of a temperature drop, but not by much. To be honest, it's probably around the same thing as -50. So I think for most people, if you just go in there, put in 40, -40, or -45, or -50, I think you're gonna see a massive improvement already. There's really no need to keep pushing that curve. I am curious about the current or the voltage that's going through these. So package power 106. So literally it's the same thing from before. You're not seeing any more uplift from changing the curve. Yeah, I think for most people, and you're not willing to tinker around or just want to quickly set, a setting so your CPU is not heating up as much. Just go ahead and change that one little setting, and I think you'll be good to go. I hope you guys found this video informative, and we'll see you next time. Okay, we're almost done that 30-minute run. Looks like it's running pretty stable at 66 average-ish, or 65 average. We're running a max temperature of 68 degrees Celsius. So I'm gonna let this run to finish in the next minute or so, just to explore our temperatures here. We're running about 106 watts in average. Yeah, it seems to be running pretty quiet. What's the fan speed sits at? About 1400. And yeah, I think this is a pretty good result in terms of like curve optimizing. Now this is -50. I'm almost curious if I can push to -60. Once it's done, I am gonna write down the score, which is 23303, and this is the 30 minutes. We're running about 106. So we got quite a bit of drop in the wattage also. Okay, I'm gonna reboot the computer, and I'm gonna try and do -70. I'll be right back. Alright, we're in BIOS. Let's see if these arrow keys works. And then we're just going to the precision over boost overdrive curve, let's say 60, and gonna get that going. Okay, I'm gonna put this on pause again, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, I had a -60. For some reason I wasn't able to boot into it. Obviously it's probably a little bit push to this curve optimizer, and I'm gonna do a -55, see if we can boot into Windows, and I'm gonna let it run, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, finally able to get into Windows. I think every little bit of negative curve optimizing I've been doing, and it feels like it takes a little longer for Windows to boot into. It could be the nature of the beast, but I'm thinking I'm pushing that limit. Just this it's hitting its limit basically. I don't know whether or not this particular run is gonna crash or not, because I wasn't able to get into -60 in terms of just trying to boot into Windows. So maybe your luck may vary, but I cannot get into -60. So I'm just gonna do a single run to see if it crashes or not, and look at some of the stats. We're looking at topping out of the temperature about just 66 degrees. It is definitely still an improvement from before. Just curious about the score, and I'm not experiencing any sort of lagging or anything like that, or stuttering while this is running. I'm gonna just give it another run. The score is just a little bit lower than unexpected. Just curious if it could be any sort of background task where I was clicking around and was causing this score to change. So we're gonna give it another run. Let's see what happens. 23,290. Let's get one more run. And I think we're hitting a diminishing return here, and I don't think lowering this number by any further means would improve your performance, but I think it's gonna lower your temperature by a little bit. So if you're running a smaller cooler, you could definitely push this a little bit more, try to get into a more comfortable temperature range. But yeah, I don't see any sort of performance uplift whatsoever anymore. So I'm gonna do this way, and again we're gonna do that 30-minute run to see if it's stable and see how the cooler react to that 30-minute run, and maybe that's something you could explore by yourself when you're I know everybody's cooler will be different, so be something you need to try for yourself to see what best suit your need. So right now I'm just starting that 30-minute run here, and we're -55. I don't think I'm gonna try -60. I don't think I can boot into that. So this will be my final run on this curve optimize test. We are running about 66 degrees, so it's definitely, I don't think it's gonna be like that much cooler than -50. I think my wattage is a little bit lower, just a tack lower, and then we're definitely, I think I'm definitely hitting a limit here on this curve optimizer. So negative 55 would be something that you could start with, and you can go either up or down, depends on your silicon quality. So I'm gonna let this run for another 30 minutes, and when I come back we're probably gonna wrap up this video, and I'll be right back then. Alright guys, well, as you can kind of tell already that the idle temperature for the X3D chip is about 47 degrees. And people have mentioned that why don't I just go undervolted or do some curve optimizing on this particular chip to lower the temperature a little bit. The problem I see is the fact that just at the idle, the temperature is already 47 degrees. It's kind of running to like a little bit of issue here, because when you're not doing anything and you're idling at 47, it's not a good starting point. So I don't know what the result would be if I were trying to just do like a simple curve optimize on this. But I'm gonna attempt to play with it a little bit and see what I can do. So just letting you guys know, I'm not too familiar with this new MSI BIOS layout, so I'm gonna be kind of struggling a little bit to find the things I needed to find. But yeah, let's go take a look. PPO limits. See, these click here and there. I would really like to use my arrow keys for this, but I'm gonna set that auto advanced. Curve optimizer. I'm gonna say all cores negative. What's the maximum you could do on this? $40? I just do that for shits and giggles. Nothing changed. Okay. Why are you doing that? I did change something. Sure. Save change. All right. Let's go into BIOS and take a look. Hopefully I can't get into BIOS. Okay. I'm gonna put on pause and see how long this thing will boot. Okay. I think it took a minute or two for it to boot up. I'm setting at 43 degrees. I think it was a little bit lower before. Okay. That's negative 40, so let's go into Windows. Okay, I'll be back when the Windows loaded. Already, we are loaded into the windows. We're at about 43 degrees. Let's do a single run, see how it's doing. So temperature start creeping up. Alright, 70 degrees. I think that's not a bad temperature we're sitting at. And it's slowly creeping up. So curve optimizer definitely works. I don't know how stable it is, but we're gonna say -40 curve, and we're just gonna say 23195, and this is a single run. Okay, let's see if I do a 10-minute run on this and see if it's gonna crash or thermal throttle. See if that single -40 curve optimizer helps, because I'm already seeing a better score compared to stock just by doing the -40 curve optimizing. And let's see, the temperature still 7 degrees. It's definitely running quieter too. We're running about what's the fan RPM? About 1500. Still, I think the maximum we're hit on these fans is about 1700. So it's not running full max fan speed, which is pretty nice already. And we're getting a decent score. We're getting about 23,000 score, which still above the previous 10-minute run on single run. Okay. I'm gonna leave this like this for next 8 minutes, and I'll come back and let you guys know the results. Alright guys, so this is about 1 more minute left of this 10-minute run. I was just exploring what sort of result I had before from, you know, not tuning this particular CPU. That is a simple, just -40 all-core adjustment on this CPU. And first we would like to look at what previously our score, or our what our temperature sits at. Well, we're sitting at 90 degrees, and the package temperature, or sorry, the package power, we're sitting at 162 watts. That's a lot of wattage. Now we're coming back to our current test. We are still running about 35 seconds left, and our CPU sits about 70 and 70C, and as we look at the package power, we're looking about only 120 watts tops. So I mean 124 at the maximum. So that's a pretty significant change for just a single curve optimization. We're gonna let this particular test finish, and I'm gonna try to push it and see if I can tune it a little bit more. I don't know, like personally I haven't tune this the 7000 series of CPUs. I don't know the limits of the curve. I don't know if 40 will be the maximum or I can go even lower. So that'd be interesting for me to find out. So I'm gonna go back into BIOS. I'll be right back. Alright, we're into BIOS. Still very kind of, how I say, annoying to try to find where everything is in this new BIOS from MSI. But I'm slowly getting used to it. We're just gonna ignore everything, just go into straight to this number. Can we do 50? Does 50 even work? We're sitting at 43 degrees right now. And save, change, and reboot. So every time I change the curve optimizer, the motherboard seems to have a tiny bit of hard time to boot up. I don't know, it's just for the first time or not, but it is what it is. We're gonna pause the video a little bit and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm just gonna go back to BIOS and to see basically if actually the settings stick or not. Just wanted to verify before I boot into Windows. Okay, it's there. We're gonna go into Windows. And yeah, I'll let it run. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I have booted into Windows, and like last time, we check the idle temperature. We're sitting at about 41, 42 degrees. So I do see it went down a little bit from the negative 40 curve run, but I do feel like the computer is just booting up quite slowly compared to before. Not only that, getting to Windows is a little bit challenging. Maybe pushing to negative 50 will be a little bit of a push to this particular chip. I'm gonna run this for a single run to see what sort of score we're getting. I think we're getting negative 50, 23, 3, 1, 0. Let's get it on another run. Let's see how it goes. And we're hitting a peak of 65 degrees, so that's another 4 degrees lower than before. And we're not exactly seeing any sort of crazy performance change whatsoever on this. So that's a very promising result. So second one is 23, 292. 292, yeah. So that is just a tack better than the negative 40 curve run. Now we're gonna do I'm pretty sure the 10-minute run will be fine in terms of temperature, but I'm more interested of stability now. So I'm actually gonna just run this and keeping an eye on the power, which right now we're hitting about 113 watts, so that's lower than before. And the temperature we're setting about right now, just in the beginning of the run, which is 66 degrees. So there's one of the other thing I was gonna explore was if this chip or this BIOS will offer any sort of eco mode, which I haven't yet to find. Maybe it's buried in one of the options somewhere. I just need to go look for it. But for now, we're just gonna play with the curve optimizer and see how well or how stable this can give me. Obviously, I'm pretty sure if you really want to stress out this particular CPU, you want to probably run Prime 95, but then it doesn't show me the score or anything, right? So I would just prefer to run in Cinebench and see what sort of score I'll be getting from running this. And we'll come back in 30 minutes and I'll show you the results.